The Black-Eyed Children, or also known as the Black-Eyed Kids, are mysterious beings that take a look of kids between the ages of 6 and 16 years old. They only appear at night to unsuspecting adults who are alone in parking lots or their homes. They will often come in groups of 2 or more, and they will often ask for favors. The favors could be anything from making a phone call, asking for a ride home, to get something to eat, or use the bathroom. Few people who had interactions with these kids had expressed the feeling of unexplainable fear when the children were near. No one knows where they come from. There are some theories that extraterrestrial, UFOs, vampires, and demons have something to do with the kids. Brian was one of the first people to document having met the Black-Eyed Children in real life. He had published a transcript of the event on his blog in 1998. It was around 9:30 on January 16, 1998, and Brian had left his apartment in Albany, Texas for the Dropbox to pay his internet bill. On the way, he stopped at the Dollar movie theater that was right next to the service provider's building to use the light from the marquee to make out his check. As he did this, there was a knock on the car window, and he saw 2 young boys. He thought that they were between 10 and 14 years old. He had described the boys as,
"Boy number 1 was slightly taller than his companion, wearing a pull-over, hooded shirt with a sort of gray checked pattern and jeans. I couldn't see his shoes. His skin was olive-colored and had curly, medium-length brown hair. He exuded an air of quiet confidence. Boy number 2 had pale skin with a trace of freckles. His primary characteristic seemed to be looking around nervously. He was dressed in a similar manner to his companion, but his pullover was a light green color. His hair was sort of pale orange. They don't appear to be related, at least directly."
Almost immediately, he knew something was up, and he felt a sense of fear. The first boy began to tell Brian that they needed his help. They said that they wanted to see the new Mortal Kombat movie, but forgot their money. Instead of asking for money, they asked for a lift to their home to get it. Brian was nervous and was hesitant at first. The boy kept trying to get him by saying things like,
"Come on, mister. We just want to go to our house, and we're just 2 little boys. Come on, mister. Let us in. We can't get into your car until you do, you know. Just let us in, and we'll be gone before you know it. We'll go to our mother's house."
Brian had found himself unlocking the car door without realizing it, and almost as if instructed to do so by the child. After catching his hands, he looked back at the so-called kids with a whole new perspective. And this is when he realized that the eyes were solid black. All of the stories of people meeting the Black-Eyed Children claim that once you realize their eyes, that's when it gets dangerous. The second boy continued to stand there, completely silent, when the first boy threatened him, saying, "We won't hurt you. You have to let us in. We don't have a gun." According to Brian, the first boy was implying that they didn't need guns. He started pulling at the door and demanded to be let in. With the courage that he had managed to find, Brian had pushed his car into reverse and sped home, leaving the boys where he found them. Let's fast forward to November 14th, 1998, and Brian had an update for his ghost hunting blog/email list. He had apparently never talked too much else about his encounter with the Black-Eyed Children. The next encounter of the kids is from his friend, John. John was one of Brian's online friends, who was a pagan rights coordinator for an Oregon organization called Spirit. Brian had claimed that he had never told John about his encounter. Yet, this is the interaction they had towards the end of the same year. It had taken place over chat. It started when John had asked the chat if they, quote, really believed in ghosts or kids with funny eyes, end quote. And then he launched into his own anecdote with a group of Black-Eyed Children. No one really knows what these kids are, but the people who claim to see them swear they are real. That's it for today's video. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments down below. Also, let me know if you want me to use more voice changer in my videos. That's it. Stay safe.